How's everybody doing today? Welcome back to the Trade Talks Live. I'm Roger Wakefield. If you've been here before, man, I'm glad you came back. If you haven't been here before, welcome. We have a variety show here set up. We talk about what's going on in the news and websites, where the work is, safety, mindset, growth, man, all kinds of crazy things.
All sorts of crazy stuff. I'm Henry Wakefield, 20-year pipe fitter, here to talk trades every day, every aspect of the trades too, and help you if you're starting out in the journey or you're moving on to advancing your own business. We want to cover it all.
And we do. We get people that want to get in the trades. We get people that literally, they want to get better. We've got people that want to start their own business, but they don't know how. They've been in the trade for years. And then we got entrepreneurs that want to learn the things they need to grow their businesses. So we talk to all of them and help them along that journey. This video is sponsored by Leak Pro, and Leak Pro is the most precise leak detection system for plumbers. Took me a while to do that yesterday. For plumbers. And in my opinion, it's the best one out there. There's no unnecessary gadgets. You've got your probe or your sidekick. You've got a wire that goes to your headphones and a volume knob. And that's about all there is to it. But there's no controls to have to adjust to know what frequency and what you're trying to find. You go in there and you listen. And that's really what it's all about. So if it's something you're interested in, go check out www.leak-pro.com. And if you really want to get good at it, call 1-8888-LEAK-PRO, talk to Squirt about the training. We bring people in to train to learn how to find the pipes underground, how to find the leaks in them, sewer isolation on PVC and cast iron, and then we teach you how to market it and make your phone ring. So if this is something you're interested in, www.leak-pro.com. Man, national news, we're talking about apprentice rates are growing.
Hey, the trades for the skilled trades apprenticeships, okay? Not just any apprenticeships, the skilled trades. Record enrollment in 2025. Apprenticeship programs for electricians, plumbers, and the HVAC techs are at all-time high with over 650,000 new apprentices registered nationwide this year. That's huge. It's a step in the right direction. We still need more. We know that. Guys, this just shows that things that we're talking about, us talking about the trades, I've seen it more on social media from people that aren't even in the trades. People are getting interested. People are getting involved. And this is just proof right now.
Yeah.
That's huge.
And what this means is people are actually listening to me. I mean, I'm just going to say it. Look, I'm not going to take all the credit, but people are finally listening. And it's not just me. I'm joking when I say that, but you've got to think about this. You got Micro out talking about it. You got me out talking about it. A lot of the social media influencers in the trades are talking about it. We're getting ready, but between Randy and myself, we're attending 3 trade shows and a Super Bowl party and Funnel Hackers Live. So we're studying marketing. We're studying the trades. We're learning how to party with Lee Steinberg. Well, at least one of us is. Randy couldn't make it to New Orleans.
Nope.
Sorry. I'll take one for the team.
There you go.
But you know, the cool thing is, I love this because with increased funding out there, remember we talked a few weeks ago about the federal government's putting more money into the trades. Yep. Gee, it's about time. We've bailed out colleges before. The previous president was going to forgive a ton of student debt, like $1 trillion. It's like, really? You're just going to forgive that? If it was worth it, they'd have paid it back. That's my point of view.
Yeah. I went through a trade school so that I had no school debts. I worked my tail off to pay for my school the whole way through. If you went to school, pay for what you learned. Don't just, just poof. Let's make that disappear.
I mean, it makes sense. You know, if you're going to college to get a career and that career is going to support you and make you an amazing life that you have been told by your counselors, your principals, your teachers, your parents, your aunts and uncles have been told, look, if you don't go to college, you'll never amount to anything. Look, if you're out there waiting for your student loan to be paid back by the government, you don't amount to anything. I don't mean that bad, but
no,
it's like, man, come on.
And I know a lot of guys that went to college, They're now working trades to pay off those student debts.
And they're making enough money they can pay them off.
That's right.
So guys, it's just look, and I don't want to diss on college.
No.
I don't. If you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a lawyer, maybe a mechanical engineer.
Yep.
There are certain things that you probably need to go to college for. I get that. But at the end of the day, look, get out and learn a trade. It can literally change the way you see the world. It will change the way you feel. I love going home at the end of the day. Yesterday, I was exhausted.
Yeah.
Climbing around in a hole up in a house, making repairs, leaning in from a hole up from above. And it wasn't even a long day.
Nope.
But you know what? When I got home last night, I'm like, man, you know what? I got something done.
Yeah, I went to bed a little early last night myself. Was just kind of wore out from all the running. I had a pretty busy day myself.
Absolutely.
It was just busy. Not a complete full long day or anything, but by 4 o'clock, I was beat.
It will wear you out.
Yes.
But the good thing is public perception. Many people still see college as the only path. And I love it because I got interviewed by a lady. I think her podcast was something like Careers Without 4 Years. And she wanted to interview me about, the trades. And when we were done, she said, Roger, you're literally creating a path for people to go down to get in the trades. And it's like, well, look, it needs to be there. We've got people that want jobs. We've got people that want to work. And we've told them, if you get in the trades, you're never going to amount to anything. And I've had people tell stories about, a teacher out walking a class by and they see the guy out working, the plumber out working on the gas meter or something. They're like, see, if you don't go to school, you're going to be out here working like him. It's like, okay,
Yep.
He makes more money than you, lady.
That's it.
Sorry, but anyway, look, there's higher pay and less debt in the trades. Get on it. You're going to love it. Now we talk about website review, and I love that you picked Go High Level.
I did.
This is one of my favorites. It's the CRM. I think every business out there needs to be looking at this. If you're in any kind of business at all and you want to see what we've put together, go to Rogers Marketing Machine and check it out. And go ahead. I'm going to step back now
I was
off
gonna
my
say,
soapbox.
So I've been using this a lot lately. And guys, I went to one of their conferences where they reveal all the things that they added in the last year. Holy crap. They put a lot into this software constantly.
Each and every year.
It is getting better and better. They're increasing, they're adding new things. If there's something that's not there, give them a little feedback. It'll probably show up within the next year or sooner.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad that I didn't get invited this year because it's like I learned so much last year.
Yeah.
I really did.
It is, but it's an all-in-one CRM, and that's customer relations management
Customer relationship management.
software.
You bet.
I've been using it for invoicing. I've transferred. I used to use Jobber for my on-the-fly invoices. High Level does it smooth and easy now. So a lot of things that used to be, everything is in this one. It's got it's a comprehensive CRM, everything, all your contacts, your scheduling, things like that. It's all in one location. You can create automations in there, work pipelines, funnels, things like that. If you don't understand this, it's a bunch of business stuff that I've been learning the last couple years.
Business stuff. Okay. Not pipe fitting stuff, business stuff.
That's it. But don't just think of yourself as just the worker. Look into the future too and where you want to be, because some of this business stuff I wouldn't ever thought of back whenever I was just a pipe fitter in the field, looking for that next job, chasing that work. Think bigger, because there's more out there. And whenever you start thinking that way and learning the business side of it too, you can learn lots of things. And this is a wonderful tool. Check out their website and kind of just browse through it.
I want to jump in here real quick, and they've got a lot of stuff, and we can talk about it. But KG says, "Hey, sir, sent you a message on LinkedIn." Okay, I'll look at it. I had a busy, long, crazy day. Glad you're watching it, and glad you're thinking about getting into plumbing. Electrical, really? I'm joking. Good morning, KG. Good to see you in here. You have to be a master plumber, a master electrician to start building a business. Yes. You've got to be a master to build your own business. 650,000 people need to get in as soon as possible. Yes, you do. Bachelor's degree in creative writing. I love that. Steve Rod says, love the talk. Says they don't want us to trade. That's why the school system doesn't teach us to trade. You know, I love that. You're right. And it's funny because here in Texas, they're even starting to teach plumbing again, and they're looking at bringing electrical and HVAC in. You should even tax the trade, or should not even tax the trade. Well, here's what I like, Steve. Our new president, returning president, is going to quit taxing the overtime, and that's going to make a massive change in the trades.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
really
huge
is.
for tradespeople. Like, I mean, huge. When I used to work 7 days a week, I'd go in Sunday and I changed my mind to where it's like, look, I'm working all day today for Uncle Sam,
And he gets it
and
all.
he's going to take it all. And we got double time on Sundays, so it was a good chunk of my check. But working that one full day paid all the taxes for my other 6. So yes, I love the way we're headed to try to tax them a little less for the ones that actually want to put in the extra effort.
So on Go High Level, you've got the comprehensive CRM. Love that. You've got the marketing automation, which to me, guys, if you're not running some kind of automation to help keep your phone ringing every day, you're doing something wrong. And I don't just mean Google. Hey, we built our website for Google. Hopefully people are searching it. I love that. But you need to learn marketing automation and ads to where when you need the phone to ring more tomorrow because your guys aren't busy, you know how to turn it up. Sales pipeline management. Me, I've been in Salesforce before. I'm not a big pipeline guy. I want to know, are my customers calling? Are we getting them booked? Are we making it happen? I know that's the pipeline. And Go High Level has a way to track that. Appointment scheduling. Guys, this is something that this younger generation will see. They want to get on and say, hey, I want a plumber at my house at 4:00 today. Are you set up where they can do that? If not, there's a problem. The other one is website and funnel builder. Funnels are what keeps your phone ringing. Keep that information out in front of people. Randy's been studying Facebook ads here lately and getting really good at it. But the whole cool thing is the automatic text back, meaning if I'm chucking a truck, I'm a one guy and I'm out working on Mr. Randy's house, and you call me and my phone rings and I can't answer it because my hands are full, it'll automatically text him back and say, hey, this is Roger. I can't get on the phone right now, but I can text you. What can I help you with? Well, Roger, I have a problem with the water here. If they're texting my bot, my CRM, not calling another plumber, guess what? They're still my customer. I still have the opportunity to get that job. So I love that. I think that's amazing. And this younger generation loves texting. If you're not set up to where you can text, if you're not set up to where they can text you, it's crazy. And we've got all this set up. If you want to learn more about it, go check out Roger's Marketing Machine. Just put it in Google. It'll take you right to it. And it's amazing. And this leads to business growth. And business growth, how to build a multi-trade business that dominates your local market. And this is something that I teach because I have people reach out to me and they say, Roger, I want to grow my plumbing company. Like, okay. Number one, are you doing things right? Are you making revenue? Are you tracking your KPIs? Are you doing the things that you need to do to grow? And a lot of times they're not. So we coach them through that. But then it gets into, okay, now I want to grow. I want to buy another company. Okay, instead of buying another plumbing company and just absorbing their customers, what if you bought an electrical company? What if you bought an HVAC company? What if you bought a garage door company? I know a guy that makes almost $2 billion a year in garage doors. $1 billion a year. Sorry, not two.
Yeah.
$1 billion a year in garage doors. He started out in high school making $2,000 a week, painting garage doors for $100. He said, I could paint 10 garage doors. It cost me $11 in materials.
Yep.
Wow. In high school, $2,000 a week. That's $100,000 a year in high school.
That's it.
I would be having the biggest freaking parties in the world. I'm just saying.
I'm sure you
I
would.
Okay, so what have you got?
So more contractors are combining multiple trades like HVAC and electrical or plumbing and drain cleaning, things like this. This increases revenue and customer retention. If you add new services to your business by rolling out more businesses, more services that you can offer while you're in that home,
Don't just roll up,
maintaining
roll
the
out.
place. Guys, this is huge for your business. It's something that we talk about a lot because we used to work for large MEP contractors and things. And when you work for just a plumbing contractor and then work for a MEP contractor, you
It's a whole
understand
different world.
how much easier a job can be if you're all on the same team.
You know, the word that popped into my mind when you said is continuity. Just
Yep.
everything runs so smooth.
That's it.
And when it doesn't, you straighten it out. You drag each other behind the building and say, hey, man, we got to talk.
Yeah.
But you understand at the end of the day, you're on the same page.
That's it. And most of your customers, they're going to prefer this one-stop shop. I don't want to have to call 5 different people to come out and remodel my bathroom. I want to call one guy and go, hey, yeah, I want to get this bathroom remodeled. Oh yeah, we've got the electricians, we got the tile guy, we got sheetrock, we've got it all. No worries. We are your one-stop shop. That is so easy for a customer. So don't just think about acquiring more businesses of the same trade. Think of adding new services to your business.
Freaking love that. And look, one of my friends here, one of my former mentors, and it's Gus. I've had him on here. You can go back and look at his interview. He's doing garage doors. He's doing roofing. He's doing handyman. They started Hank's Handyman. And I mean, think about that. Now you go in, you remodel that bathroom. Well, you need a painter. Hey, send one of our handymen over here. He's going to paint the bathroom. There's so many opportunities out there to grow. And we talk about different ways to do it. We talk about specializing in certain things. Slab leaks, leak detection, great place. Whole house water filtration system. For plumbers, those two are amazing. If you're an electrician, solar. There's so many different things that you can do out there. I got a mustache hair bothering me. There's so many different things you can do out there and roll it up into one business that you can still take each one of those and specialize. What if you had a plumbing, electrical, and HVAC company and says, hey, we specialize in slab leaks and leak detection, whole house water filtration, solar, whole house GFCIs, and indoor air quality or geothermal HVAC systems.
Yeah.
We specialize in things nobody else in town does. Guess who becomes the go-to place? You're the one everybody wants.
You're the go-to guy. You're the person out of everybody's mouth. Hey, I've got this problem. You need to call this guy. Period. That's going to be, and that's what you want to be. You want to be that go-to guy for your whole local area. That's going to keep all your guys busy, keep your business booming.
Eric Nichols says, my son's a junior in high school, looking for any feedback on best transition for high school into an apprenticeship program. Some companies belong to unions and some don't, plus or minus. Look, I've been both, and I love that. I love the education and training in the union, but also love the fact that I think I learned from 2 of the best plumbers I've ever known in open shop. So it can go either way. I don't know what state you're in, Eric. In Texas, plumbing is now a curriculum in some of the high schools for 3 years, your sophomore, junior, and senior year. You go through that training program. When you get out, if you graduate, you're eligible to go take your tradesman exam, which is about a $50,000 a year job starting out. So I like that. John Sock says, do I have to go to college to become an architect, to become a licensed architect? Yeah, I do believe that you do. Steve Rod, man, we're trying to do things right, brother. Paul Johnson, how are we doing? Good to see you in here. Says, what's up, Roger Wakefielder? What's happening? Man, life is happening. Paul says, they're part of a BNI group. I'm part of Master Networks group in Central Texas and Houston. So depending on where you're at, Paul, you may want to check that out. KG says, I know that in the Army, we called it combat multiplication. So with the trade business, combine more services. Yo, and KG, I love that. Steve Rod says, take it all. Man, take everything you can get. But here's the deal. If you can expand, and the company that I'm talking about that's expanding into roofs and garage doors and handyman, they're doing about $200 million a year. That's not bad. And if you know your KPIs, you know your numbers, you know what numbers he should be hitting, guess what? He should be doing about 40 million a year profit. That's not a bad year. Service work, high demand.
I was going to say there's high demand for home generator installations in 2025.
Generac, listen to me. I've been talking to y'all. I want a Generac. Let's do this.
That's it, guys.
That's another one for electricians or plumbers. Plumbers can install it because of the gas. Electricians can sell it to you because they got to tie it in.
We've dealt with this ourselves and losing power for days on end.
It's not fun.
It's not fun. If you lose power for 5 days, do you have a backup generator? Most of the country does not. It's becoming a thing though, because people They're tired of it. We're tired of losing our power for a week on end and trying to make do because the grids are getting overwhelmed.
They're stressed.
And we know that. We know all the infrastructure needs to come up. This is something that people are doing now to fight the issues and the problems. Because having that backup generator in the house is huge so that you don't lose your perishables, things like that. If you've got elderly or young children in the home, you don't want to lose your heating and cooling during the bad seasons of the year. So it's huge.
Now, and a good thing about it is I love this idea. I was actually at dinner last night with Resupply.
Yeah.
And talking to them about a working together, which I think is going to be an amazing thing. I love Reese. And one of the guys there lives in Atlanta. And he told me that when power goes out in Atlanta, he has a Generac. He says, I turn on every light in the house. He said, I want people to drive through my dark neighborhood and see my house glow. He said, I want my neighbors to see my house glow.
What is going on?
I know. How come he has power and we don't?
Yeah.
So that's something. Look, Generac, I'm talking to you. Matter of fact, we need to check KBiz and see if Genrac's going to be there.
I was going to say, any electricians out there, put one on your home.
Oh,
So
I'd
when
be
the
all
power
over
goes
it.
down, that's it. And then have a sign out. Hey,
Want your house to
proud
look like mine when the
installer
lights go out?
of-
Yeah.
Yes. Huge.
Paul Johnson, Wet Show 2025. We will both be there, Paul. KG says, I like plumbing and electrical because both keep people alive, and it really sounds rewarding. And they are. And
I like
guys,
that.
here's the thing. The trades are so rewarding. Randy and I talk all the time about the pride that we have in the work that we do, the jobs that we work on. I guarantee you, Randy can be driving down into downtown Dallas with his kids and say, y'all see that building? I built that. I drove by Infomart the other day.
Yep.
Taking
I was
somebody to the
over there
airport.
the other day.
Taking somebody to the airport, and they're like, oh my God, what's that? That's Infomart. Randy built it.
I drove my youngest by the cooling towers that we actually hung over the loading dock. And it's like, kid, you see all that? Yeah. I was involved in all that piping, all this stuff. Oh my gosh. Because we were having dinner close over there. And it's like, you know what? Here, let's just swing back through the back end so you can actually see what we did.
Yeah, I drove up by a terminal at DFW Airport, and I'm watching a gas line up the side. I'm pointing it out. Like, see that gas line right there? Like that black thing? See, yeah, it's a gas line. I ran it upside the building. Why'd you run it upside the building? Oh, that's where the Prince called for it. And we had fun. We did it right. It was good. So, look, we do what we have to do. But the neat thing about it is we're so prideful in everything that we do. And that's what makes it such a rewarding career. Materials, equipment, and tools. Now, the most durable work gloves for each trade. Now, I'm interested in what you found.
Now, this is a lot of the internet, okay? Because, like, I was a pipe fitter. I've got my personal preference. I'm sure you've got your personal preference. In the trades, we all do. The key is finding the right ones for what you do to protect your hands from what you're doing. But different trades require different gloves to maximize safety, grip, and dexterity. And I can remember back when cut-resistant gloves first came out and you couldn't feel anything because they were so thick. And it's like, boss, I can't put a 3/8 nut on the rod because of these gloves. I can't feel
Can't
anything.
feel the nut. Can't feel the
And
threads.
So they kind of adjusted, created some that were a little thinner, came up with some different materials, which would still be just as cut resistant, but you could actually still feel things and do things. So it's huge. Gloves have come a long way. But some of the top picks for each industry start with these Sparkies. Klein Tools lineman gloves. These are insulated gloves for electrical work to help prevent you from getting shocked because we know y'all love getting shocked so much.
And we love Klein. Look, Klein,
Yes.
Klein is a brand. Klein
right.
is a good brand. They make great tools. Me and Randy both talk about the Klein tools that we have. We don't have a lot, but we know what Klein tools we have, and we know how well they work.
That's right.
All right. Welders.
Welders. Okay, so these I haven't ever used these. Revco Black Stallion stick welding gloves, heat resistant gloves. I kind of like leather gloves myself personally. Just the old. I think I preferred pigskin if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
the
or elk.
the Tig Mig, the thin
the
with the leather.
Tillmans. Yeah,
Tillmans,
I'd
yes.
use Tillmans.
Yep.
Main ones that I'd use just for cutting and my normal pipe fitting work, I'd use Tillman TIG gloves because it's a thin leather, but I could feel everything that I was doing. And I was a pipe fitter, so I was feeling for high low and things. So I really needed to be able to feel what my hands were. Plumbers and HVAC techs, mechanics wear impact protection and water resistance. I've seen some of these at the shops and things. I know a lot of guys that do use these that enjoy them. I've seen them on a few jobs. Back when these first came out, some guys were buying them for themselves. Weren't even company provided. They're like, look, I was using these. I was working on the car or something, doing something at the house, and I really liked them. And I'm just bringing a pair in to use. So some of the companies started buying some of these for the guys. So,
and my thought too about impact resistant gloves, don't hit your freaking fingers. Okay, just avoid the impact. I want to throw that out there. Look, I think way outside the box, I get it. Don't hit your fingers. I remember when I worked at a fish place, we had these, basically it was chainmail gloves.
Yep.
Back before the cut
did it
resistant.
at the butcher shop.
You,
Yeah.
you bet. And literally, I mean, you could take the sharpest knife in there and drag it across your hand. It was a metal glove, but you had to wear those when you were cutting the catfish.
Mhm.
And it was like, man, this is really a smart idea. And I mean, you know, me, I'm back with a knife, like trying to cut my hands. Like,
Yeah.
I want to see how this thing works. Which, I mean, I'm smart enough to know that, but apparently not smart enough to not try to do it.
That's
So
what I did
go
with
ahead.
the first pair of cut resistance. This guy brought it out. I said, well, here, let me see it. And I took my pocket knife out, ran it across. I said, oh, it cut right open, boss. I don't think that's
I
going
know.
to be any
Yeah.
good. And they're
So-
like, oh, crap, wait. I said, now I know I was trying to cut it. I understand that. I said, but y'all said this is completely cut
Y'all
resistant.
say cut
No, it's
resistant. It
not.
didn't resist this cut.
So then we kind of understood the differences in that. But
Okay, and I
It's
took a
kinda
pair. I
huge.
took a pair of Tim Snips one day and just literally cut a finger off one. I said, I cut it, and they're like, Roger, you're not supposed to do that. And it's like, well, don't tell me it's cut resistant. It didn't resist that cut.
that's it. And, you know, the key here, guys, buy a good pair of gloves that are
Amen.
going to last you a long time. I can remember on a job, guy brought some cheap leather gloves, wrong size. I wear big gloves, and he's like, well, just make do with it. I said, okay, let me see it. Put it on, and then I closed my hand like that, and the seams busted open. I said, here, boss, these gloves ain't gonna work. I'm telling you, I got big hands. Holy crap. I said, yeah, buy me those good Tillman gloves, extra large, just like I told you that I needed, because that's what I need to do my job.
And I like small gloves. Look, I was a quarterback in high school. I know that's hard to believe that I could hold a football, but I've always had small hands, and I want gloves that fit. And of course, they normally go through and they'll buy larges.
Yep.
They'll buy 1,000 large gloves
That's it.
and say, you put your big hand in it and you put your little hand in it. And it's, look, I like that you wrote down a $20 pair of gloves that last 6 months, even 6 weeks, is better than a $5 pair of glove that lasts a week.
Yep.
And guys, invest in good gloves, invest in good work boots. You know, we talked about that last week.
That's it. And invest in good tools.
Invest in great tools.
That's it. We want to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's video, where we think they build the best leak detection system for professional plumbers. It's 2 devices. You've got the probe, which is your outdoor leak detection unit, mainly from your meter to the home or irrigation lines, pools, things like that. We also do the Sidekick. When you're wanting to listen through concrete and you hit that inside of a home, you want to pull this thing out because it's going to scream and it's going to remove that layer of concrete when you're listening for your leaks. We also do an in-person training here in Wiley, Texas, just outside of Dallas. I've got 11 leaks under a slab here to go through and train you to find some of the hardest ones we've got, work through lots of tricks. I'll stump you a couple times. It'll be a good time, but you will leave here knowing exactly how to go into a home and locate leaks. I do line locating, leak detection under the slab, outside of the slab. I also have a PVC and a sewer drain system set up to where I teach you how to isolate sewer lines from the double clean out outside of the home to determine exactly which branch line is leaking. We also do a quick marketing run through where Roger goes through, checks out your website for your business, how to promote the services. If you want to know more, check us out at www.leak-pro.com.
Or call Squirt
Or
at
call me.
1-8888 Leak Pro.
That's it. Book me for a call and we can talk about anything you want about it.
Steve Rod says, you guys stay positive. Have a good day. Drive on and push forward and stay positive. We'll do it, brother. Goodbye. Good. Thanks for jumping in here. Recession Proof says the Trade Talks. What are the top 3 trade businesses for Miami, Florida? Top 3 all the way across the country. Plumbing, electrical, and HVAC. Those are normally the skilled trades, the licensed trades that you're going to be able to make more money at. So it's funny that you're talking about those because now we're going to talk about MEP and why heat pump water heaters are taking over the market. And I remember we brought a heat pump water heater in probably 5 years ago over on Richardson.
Yeah.
And went through it. And we had James Wickersham come in and talk about it. And it was really, really neat. But I think heat pump water heaters and then either heat pump HVAC or geothermal HVAC.
Yeah.
Or just, this is where we're headed, guys. Learn to be the guy that knows everything about that in your area.
That's
Go
it.
ahead.
I was going to say this is becoming the new standard. And like heat pumps, also tankless. That's becoming huge in all residential, all new builds
More and
now.
more. Plumbers are getting less afraid
It's
of
becoming
them.
more and more, which is huge. I mean, who wouldn't want endless hot water when you need it? Okay, you come in after that rough day and you want a 2-hour hot shower, you got it. Go for it.
It works.
It's huge. But these heat pump water heaters, they use 70% less energy than traditional electric water heaters, and they qualify for federal tax credits.
Ever
Get
had
that
the
tax
government
break.
buy you a water heater? I'm just saying.
That's it. Yeah, they may not buy the whole thing. They're going to pay a good chunk of it for you, though. I guarantee it. And you're going to save that money.
It's 70%.
That's
You
it.
can probably get a heat pump water heater for the same price you can get a regular water heater for.
Yeah.
And then you're going to save the money on the usage throughout the year. So look, it's a no-brainer.
And then here's one
Here we
to
go.
bring attention to. Many states are banning gas water heaters in new construction by 2030, making the heat pump water heaters the future.
And I hate this. I got to tell you, I do. I understand we need to get off fossil fuel. But if y'all watch Landman, look, that show would never be around without fossil fuel. So let's don't just get rid of gas. Look, seriously though, if you listen to him talk about what all gas and oil and are all used in, it's a big deal. But gas water heaters, I love them. That your recovery rate is faster. They're less expensive to run. They can be more efficient. So, man, I don't know what they're doing. Maybe the new president will say, hey, yeah, I don't like this idea. Let's go back to what we were doing.
It's possible.
It's possible.
It's possible. We'll see. Time will tell.
But I noticed that remember, we were working with Renai when they first started talking about this. And, man, Renai's put together a good program and say, look, we really need gas. We don't need to get rid of these gas water heaters.
Yep.
And here's the thing, guys. Gas water heaters give you an option as a homeowner. And if you think it's okay for the government to just come in and say, well, I don't want you to have options. This is what I want you to use. Okay. That's up to you. I like the idea of having choices and options, especially when I'm building a house.
Yeah. Well, and like if you live in a really small home, you may not have the space to put one of these in because it's going to take more space. And
they do. They're big.
And proper
we got one
airflow.
out there. It's a big one.
That's it. Like placement's going to be key. But if it's a real tiny house, it's going to be hard to make this adjustment.
Hey, let's put them in the attic. Let's put water heaters in the attic. Why did we start doing that? God, that blows my mind.
That's it. Like, I don't know why y'all ever started doing that because I've had to rip too many out of attics. I don't like it.
Yeah. Placement's key, though.
Placement
That's going to be
huge.
such a big deal. So where's the work? Okay, commercial kitchen exhaust cleaning. It's a booming industry, and it has been for a long time. I remember, like, I used to work in restaurants. I know y'all find that hard to believe. Thought I've always been just this amazing plumber. Not always true.
I'm all Chili's
I
guy
used, to, I
myself.
used to be a waiter and a bartender and all that stuff. But I remember going in on the weekend sometimes and cleaning the air exhaust.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, it's horrible.
Yep.
It gets nasty, but it's a fire hazard. You have to clean it on a regular basis. But so much commercial kitchen work is a specialty. Stainless steel welding. I remember I got a job at a keg restaurant installing a glass rinser. And literally you took out a frozen glass, you put it on it, rinsed the inside, pulled the ice out. That way it didn't foam up so much. Great thing to have. Well, I'm not a stainless steel welder.
Yep.
So called around, found a kitchen stainless steel company. Said, yeah, we can come install it for you. So I go over and mark where I want it. They come cut the hole, install it, weld it up. I come back later, hook up the water line and the drain for it. Amazing. But there's so much specialty work in commercial kitchens that a lot of people don't get and they don't understand. But just cleaning
Yep.
the kitchen exhaust,
Yeah.
that you can literally set up a truck for that.
You can create your own business just doing that, just cleaning hoods. Like, it can happen. A lot of these shows that I've seen where they go into some bars and things like that was
And
some,
they're funky.
and this cleaning, holy crap, it's horrible. But for somebody to go through and specialize in this to become the professional cleaner, holy crap. Everybody's going to want to have that number
Yeah.
because they don't want to put their cook up there cleaning, the bartender up there trying to clean it, different things like that. Create this service. You know, it's huge. And fire codes now require more frequent hood cleanings. They're going to have logs of this. Probably going to end up being, it's going to have to be somebody that's
Well documented.
certified to do it. I'm sure it's coming, you know.
And right now, I don't even think there's a certification. That's why I
No,
said
not right
I
now.
like what you said about, look, you could literally start your own business doing this. Imagine if you've got a trailer with a tank on it with chemically treated water, whatever, a hot pump, almost like a hydrojetter. It's
Yep.
got a heater. It's got a power washer. You go in, you set up your ladder, you pull these, they literally come out. It's almost like a 2x2 air filter, 2 inches, 2 feet tall, 2 feet wide. They go in, they set at an angle. Imagine you come into this restaurant once a week. I can take them out, rinse them, clean them, dry them, put them back up in 2 hours. So you tell them, look, y'all got to shut down 1 day a week from 1 to 3, 2 to 4. It don't matter. Go in here and clean these. I set them up for once a week. I would tell them, look, guys, if you wait once a month, the price is going to double.
Yep.
At once a week, I can keep the price low because it's not going to be as bad. And maybe you set up a preliminary cost for the first time. Well, the first time it's $2,500. After that, it's $1,000 once a week, once a month, however you want to do it. But get in there and do it. Your best clients are restaurants, hotels, hospitals, and schools. Schools probably never clean theirs. I don't mean it bad. But I mean, guys, seriously, schools don't have a ton of money. If they did, they'd pay teachers. I'm just being honest.
That's it. What's probably one of the best way a tradesperson could start offering this service that you think of? And I'm going to say it's probably get the NFPA 96 certified. This is, and then invest in high pressure steam cleaning equipment and market to commercial clients. Just like you said, schools, restaurants, hospitals, hotels. Some of these places that anything that comes to mind, any restaurants you go to that you feel like they probably don't upkeep it, that's who you want to reach out to. That's who you want to offer these services to. That's who you want to try to get going with. Because then, like he said, if you set it up on this routine maintenance to keep cleaning, before long, your books are full. Then you can start another truck, another van, a whole nother system going, and you can really grow a business pretty quick, I think.
Yeah, and I love it. And you've got the NFPA 96, which I know nothing about. Check into it, see what it says, see what it tells you it takes to get it done. And look, it could be an opportunity for a new business. Again, this isn't just rolling up, it's rolling out. What new services can you offer? I always talk about specialties. Become a specialist in certain things. Now we're going to talk about instructor training. Now, how can experienced tradespeople start teaching online?
Yeah. So, like with more young people entering the trades, there's huge demand for online training courses.
We've created them.
We've created some. I see them on multiple sites. Multiple groups are trying to create the same thing for everybody because we all want to help teach the next generation coming up. We want the information to be out there for them to actually learn their trade and craft and be a professional at it. That's why everybody's working at getting these online training courses out. And most of the youngsters learn best digitally. That's just, what do? They watch more video than any generation before. So this is a huge thing to gear up and get ready for.
You know, we've got the Rich course, Get Rich in the Trades. We've got Rich, Gain, Boss, and Grow. Rich, gain the knowledge to become a foreman, a superintendent, learn the knowledge to become better. Boss, learn how to start your own business. So many tradespeople that want to learn how to start their own company, and they literally have no idea how. They've never done it. My first coach was Michael Gerber, the small business guru. Luckily, he taught me a lot of things that, man, I would have never known. And I remember him telling me one day, he says, look, you don't even know what you don't know. Well, you were right. So the knowledge is out there that you can get. And then we teach people how to grow. If you've already got a business and you're not using networking, social media, SEO, I mean, we finally found a good SEO guy.
Yes.
And have you seen a difference?
I have.
Immediately?
Yep. It's huge, guys. Find the right people. Marketing, back before I knew nothing, marketing's huge. It's how you want to get out there and scream from the rooftops about your service. Marketing is
It's what
how
does
that
it.
happens.
That's what
it.
screams.
Like, you can go out and scream all you want. Sure, your neighbors might hear you. Great. Marketing is the way to actually get it out to the people that need to hear it. So it's huge.
And you want more people to hear it each and every day.
Mhm.
Now, there's places online that, Udemy is a big one.
Yep.
Teachable. We've got courses in Thinkific. There's a lot of different places that you can get in there. And if you're an old school professional, and I'm going to say old school, an experienced professional, and you think, look, man, Roger, I can teach soldering and brazing better than you. Okay, make the course. Go through, put the course together, put it out there, market it, let people know about it. Look, I love seeing other people's courses. I watch what they do. So I'm not afraid. Me and Randy were online looking at courses yesterday.
Yep.
It's like, hey, let's think about this. Would it be better to go to this conference? Would it be better to buy this course? What do we want to do? And we're still up in the air. Don't know which way to go.
That's it. And I don't want to just get one person's course either, guys. One of the major things that I tried to pass on to my apprentices, look, each journeyman that you go with, learn their way. Just like these courses.
Even if you don't agree with it,
that's it.
Learn it.
Yeah, do it their way. That may not be your way later, but it's their way that you're learning right now. So go for it. Learn a course from somebody. Somebody else is going to teach the same course different. They're going to give you some different ideas, some different tips, some different techniques. So learn from multiple people. That's what's going to make you the best at your trade and in your world.
I'm playing myself. Probably shouldn't do that in the middle.
Probably not.
Maybe you can still hear me now. Yeah, I don't know what we're doing. We're just playing. I'm sorry. I'm playing around. I looked down, saw a new button. I'm like, oh wait,
Where am I?
yeah, we are right here.
Okay, yeah. So the first step, the tradesperson that wants to start
Oh, okay.
teaching,
Yes.
start by making some short YouTube tutorials
Even Facebook, just shoot a video.
anywhere. That's it. Like ads, I picked Facebook. That's where I started for Leak Pro, just to run our ads. Things like this. Put your tips on a platform that you're comfortable with. If you're comfortable on Facebook, put it on Facebook. Facebook feeds very well over to Instagram too. So, just keep those options. Put it out there, and it's a good way to pass on that knowledge and get started in the online training world.
And anything you can do to help other people learn and grow is amazing. Especially now, this is neat because I've seen this done, and I've literally seen the trucks that roll in, and I'm making sure everybody can still hear us good, right? Nobody has said, hey, it got quiet or anything. Just always ask. I'm playing with buttons, so you never know what's going to happen. I've literally seen trucks that would roll in. They'd locate the studs on the exterior walls.
Mhm.
They'd cut like a 6-inch hole in between the studs, and then they'd pump this spray foam in that would go in and just fill the wall.
Yep.
This is neat stuff. Better energy efficiency and soundproofing. Now, I don't know if you're dating a girl that screams a lot or something. Soundproofing may be great.
Yep.
I'm just throwing it out there. But here's the deal. Buildings are increasingly choosing spray foam. I have literally walked in attics that you walk in and you see no light. Other than lights hanging in there, but they have the spray foam sprayed like a foot thick. But then again, you walk in this attic in the middle of summer and it's like, okay, it's not even hot up here.
Yep.
There's no air conditioning in there, but they've built the roof to where there's enough insulation there. It doesn't matter if it's 110 degrees outside, it's not getting hot in the attic.
That's it. And they're advancing these spray foam formulas and stuff now to where they can do it even thinner and thinner. And it's it gives you the same, what is it, RA value, right?
R
Same
factor, R
insulation.
factor.
Yeah, the R factor.
Yeah.
Your insulation barrier, and they can do it in less space, which is huge.
And here's the thing, guys. Look, energy efficiency is what it's all about. I became a lead AP because it's all about leadership and energy and environmental design. The neat thing about it is insulation is a big part of it. It's not just the water. It's not just the electricity. It's just not the roof. It's just not the glass. It's everything. And, you know, if you study to become a lead green associate, you'll understand it's a little bit of everything. There's so many things to learn that are going to make a big difference. But I love the spray foam insulation.
Yeah, and this is something that you could think of just adding on as an extra service. Remember, this is our specialty section. Become the specialist in your local area that's doing this spray foam for everybody. You're the go-to guy. You're the one they want to call. I mainly around here see Williams insulation trucks that are
Right here in
built,
Garland. Been here
made for
forever.
this.
You
That's
bet.
it. And they were one of the first ones I saw jumping on this, and they do great work. So, you know, it's something to keep an eye on. You can be that person that's doing this in your area and just add this on as your extra service. Your HVAC installer, guess what? Hey, while we're up there, do you want us to spray foam insulate? I used to do it some on the side for some different guys while I was doing plumbing on the side. And I'd go in, and it wasn't the spray foam quite, but, you know, the blow in like newspaper particles and stuff for your attic installations. And we'd do some of that as a side option. It's really simple to do. It's not real hard. A lot of us tradespeople are very adequate at crawling around in an attic. So it was like, yeah,
Things we
I'll
don't
do
want to
that
be
on the
good
side.
at.
Why not?
Yeah.
That's it. As long as it pays good, you know, and it was fine. But adding on some of these services really can help benefit your customers more and make you that go-to guy for everybody.
Yeah, and it's good too because you're making the world a better place. If you can walk into somebody's home and sell them a product that is going to help them save money. And look, here in Texas, it can get really hot. Here in Texas, it can get really freaking cold. And I know some of you Yankees, it doesn't quite get that cold. But I mean, here in Dallas, we've been down to 0 degrees.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yep.
0. Dallas. It doesn't go together. We're not built for that.
Yeah.
But if you can be the guy that can come in and say, look, I can help increase the R factor of your house to help save you money where your AC doesn't run as much, your heat doesn't run as much, your kids don't get as cold in the wintertime or as hot in the summertime, you're selling something people want. And it's a good thing. KG says, if I did plumbing, how many hours should I expect? Or is each company or union different? Everybody's different. Nobody wants their plumbers to have to work overtime, but it happens. And then some plumbing companies are like, look, we took on this big job. We need you to work 60 hours a week every week. I worked over 3,000 hours one year when I was out at TI. And I mean,
I recall that.
yeah, that's not a 40-hour week. That's a 60-hour week every single week. And there's some weeks where it was 100 hours and some weeks where it was 40, 50.
I was going to say, I remember some of those 92-hour weeks
Yeah,
you used to work.
Yeah. And then plumbers, as a plumber is always great because, you know, I had a guy that always said he loved making those 2 comma checks. It's when your check has a 2 and then a comma, not 2 commas. He wasn't making $1 million a week, but a 2 comma check. I remember the first time I made a 3 comma check, I was like, oh my gosh.
Hey, I worked that shutdown.
Yeah. It's like, man, this was a good week. Charles Green says, appreciate you guys. Been motivating me to get into the trades. Just started HVAC classes here in North Carolina. Try to say New York City. Don't know why. I can't wait to get out in the field and continue learning. Good for you.
It's awesome.
My brother, Denver Shawboy, what is up? 3rd-year apprentice, and it bothers me that I got to do grunt work while we have a first year that gets to learn plumbing. Denver brother, it's time to talk to people and say, man, I got a question. How come I'm doing this and he's doing that? You never know. I'm at the point of addressing it to the foreman or leaving and finding a company willing to let me learn how to rough in. They look, learning, you got to learn everything. I hate to say this, you got to learn to be a good grunt because it takes a good follower to learn to be a good leader. And I know that sounds crazy, but it does. But yeah, I'm kind of like you. I'd ask them about it and say, hey, what's going on here?
I was going to say, and you may let the foreman know that that's something you don't know how to do yet. You would love to learn how to do that. And that's going to go, oh, well, yeah, here, let's put you over there for a day or so. What is it they say? The squeaky wheel gets the oil. If they don't know that you're wanting to learn these things, they're not trying to move you to that location per se. I used to ask a lot of my superintendent, hey, is there any way I can go work on that? Because I've never touched that before, or at least just talk to them for a little bit and kind of get a good idea of it. And a lot of guys are really receptive of that. They're like, oh, I'll tell you what, you do this I'll get you swapped out with somebody for a couple days. Would that work? Oh man, that'd be great. And you learn so much that way. So just put it out there that you're trying to learn. Most guys want you to learn it. That's it. So it's a good deal.
Okay, so man, we're going to talk about social media here, and we're talking about my buddy Dimitri. And I've had Dimitri in. I've interviewed him. I've talked to him. We've talked about doing things together. I've actually spoken at his roofing conference in Orlando. So a lot of neat stuff. But how to avoid insurance scams? And trust me, guys, they're out there.
That's it. Like, if you search plumbing on YouTube, you're going to find you. If you search roofing, you're going to find Dimitri's channel.
You bet.
He's got one of the biggest roofing channels out there, and he's always on it and doing it. And things like this, it's simple things to teach your customers. That's what kind of motivates people to do social media and more people to watch, because just like we were talking a little bit ago, if you're helping them save money in the long term, most customers love to hear that, and especially like to hear exactly how it's done and why. If you give them the why, and especially the why you're trying to teach it to help them save, to better themselves, it's a huge thing to pass on. And people are going to respect you for that and come back for more knowledge.
Yeah, I remember one of the first videos I saw from Dimitri. He had found a parking lot that had like a brick wall around it. And the brick wall is 5 or 6 feet, something like that. And he literally bought like 6 or 8 different extension ladders.
Okay.
And laid each one of them up, had them stretched out to the same distance. That way that they were same length, same elevation, same spot in the parking lot. And I think he had like a couple of 30 or 50 pound kettle balls.
Yep.
And he's picking them up and he's walking up the ladder at an angle and seeing which ones broke.
Wow.
And it was really neat. It was such a good video, because if you're a tradesperson that uses extension ladders, that uses them on a regular basis, it's like, this is really, really neat. But another thing that I really like about Dimitri, and guys, if you hadn't gone over there, go check it out. It's called Roofing Insights. He's not afraid to go in and say, hey, this was done wrong. Us reviewing videos. Look, I've literally gone out with a GoPro on my head. I don't know if I had it on my head or on my chest. Went out because we had bid this job, looked at this job, found a leak up under a house, and gave them a price to fix it. Well, they didn't like it. They called somebody else. It happens. Well, they call somebody, and then they call me back and say, hey, the plumber said that you were wrong, said that he fixed the leak. I said, well, I'll come look at it again, but we weren't wrong. But he may have fixed the leak. But did he test it? And said, well, we think so, but we're not sure. Like, okay, I'll come out, but I want you to have the other plumber there. And they said, okay. So they also explained to me that they had dug up most of the yard. And I said, number one, we never looked in the yard. You're trying to sell the house. We were looking at this for the buyer. All the buyer was worried about was what's under the house. So I said, have the other plumber meet me out there. So we get out there. We get out there a little early. First thing we did is test the house itself. It still leaked. Showed the homeowner this. And of course, I've got my GoPro on. I'm talking to the real estate agent, not even the homeowner, sorry, because I didn't need to go in the house. The other plumber pulls up in a truck, unmarked, no logos, no M number, nothing he's supposed to have. And I'm like making sure I get video. And he comes up and I'm like, so y'all replace this line in the yard? And he says, yeah. I said, did they tell y'all the leak was up under the house? They said, yeah, but we couldn't find out, but we found one out here. I said, well, number one, they weren't worried about the yard. I said, so whatever y'all charged them, they weren't even worried about that. This is something that can be fixed at any time. You don't want to buy a house with leaks under the slab because It's not good. So I tested it, and I told him, I said, so did y'all test it? He said, yeah, we tested it, and it didn't leak. Under the house didn't leak. He said, yeah. So I filled it up again and tested it and showed him. I said, look, I've done this twice now. Do you want me to do it again? And he says, no, I don't think you need to. And I said, so did you come out and test this yourself? He said, no, it's one of my guys. I said, so you've got a guy that's not being honest with you. He said, well, he doesn't really work for us. I said, well, why would you have somebody come out and test it that doesn't even work for you? So what's just somebody we use? I'm like, it's like, how often or how much does he charge you, first of all?
Yep.
But then how often is he not being honest with you? I said, because you can clearly see there's a leak under here. And your company is willing to sign off saying that there's not, because somebody who's testing and not doing it right. And man, I mean, I bust him. And the whole time I got my thing on and he sees it. Cause I'm like, dude, I'm videoing this. He's like, no, I understand. I said, so let me ask you this. Do you think your company has done the right thing by this customer? He said, no. I said, man, thank you. Thank you for being honest.
Yeah, that's it. Like
Dimitri calls people out like that, and I love it.
And that's it. And that's huge. Like be the good guy out there. Don't be the other guy. Definitely. And if you're going to put good knowledge out, make sure it's good knowledge. It's facts. Study it, research it some more. A little extra. It takes that extra care sometimes.
So I want to go down here to the bottom question. What do you think the best way to train new apprentices is?
My favorite way, find the most experienced guy on the job and stick that green apprentice with them. Multiple reasons. One,
okay, and wait, not just the guy with the most experience, the best guy.
Yes.
Because the guy with the most experience may not be your best guy.
Well,
true.
And this is true. The way I did it, I'd look for the oldest guy. I didn't care how good he was or how bad. I wanted to learn from him because I knew he would have been on a job more. So he was stuck in more situations than most. Okay. That was my approach as a youngster.
I get that.
And I would get some old guys that were not very good too.
You learn a lot from them.
Luckily, I learned from a lot of people that actually knew the right ways. So it would stand out to me really quick. But just like I tell everybody, go ahead and do it that journeyman's way if that's who you're working for, and learn their way. It's okay. It can save you later sometimes. But try to put them with your best person because you want them learning the right ways, especially when they're first green. Like, luckily, I'd learned some younger because, well, my whole family's plumbers. So I was a kid. I got stuck in the holes. Yes.
I don't know. Stuck in the holes.
But it's huge. You want them to learn from the best people that you do have. If the oldest guy is your worst guy, definitely don't put him with them for sure. But that's a good perspective.
You know, it's just the way I look at it. I do. I want to train them the right way. And if the oldest, most senior guy on the job is the one who's taking the biggest shortcuts, it's not always the best person to put him with. And I knew you knew.
Yeah. Well, I saw a question on yesterday's video this morning. And it's a guy, he works on a tire assembly line, it sounds like. And he was asking what would be the best trade for him to get into. And, you know, my thoughts just as normal, like we always say, which one do you find the most interesting?
Which one would you enjoy the most?
What would you enjoy the most? That's the one you want to learn. Now, the assembly line thing, that's going to be great for like commercial projects, things like that. You can actually assembly line a lot of that work. You'd probably be great for maybe HVAC or something, working in some fabrication shop because of your assembly line style that you've done before.
Absolutely.
Because like I used to work at a trophy shop and learn to assembly line everything. And that passed on through my trades too to help speed up a lot of my process.
Guys, this video is sponsored by Leak Pro, and Leak Pro is the most precise leak detection equipment system for plumbers. And what I love about it is that there's no unnecessary gadget. You've got everything built into the sidekick or the probe. You've got a wire that comes out and goes to your headphones and a volume knob. And then you got a trigger. Turn the sound on, turn the sound off. That's going to save your hearing. I've had systems that had multiple pieces. You had the probe, you had a box around your thing, you had headphones, you had the wires, tying them all together. And it was a pain. And you're walking through people's houses, bumping into cabinets with all this unnecessary equipment. So when I saw Leak Pro, how good it was and how good to use, I knew then I wanted it. If you want to learn more about it, go to www.leak-pro.com or call Randy, talk to him about the training at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. I appreciate you all being here today. Thank you for coming each and every day. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Thank you for all the questions and engagement. We love it. And I'm Roger Wakefield. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yep, I'm Henry Wakefield. Thanks for viewing today, and I hope to see you here tomorrow. Have a good one.
Bye, guys.